Have you ever noticed that some days you feel like the husband, father, and a man you've always wanted to be? You're patient, you're consistent, you're present, you're calm, connected, you laugh more, you listen better, you feel hopeful. And then 2 days later, it's like that man disappeared. You're short with everyone, you're frustrated, you shut down, you stop talking, you isolate, you wonder, what happened? If that's you, I want you to know something. You're not crazy. You're not broken. And you're definitely not alone. Because this isn't just something that happens to you. It happens to thousands of men. And the problem is, most men never understand why. We just assume we're lazy, or undisciplined, or that we're emotionally unstable, or even that we're simply incapable of lasting change. But what if none of these are true? What if the real problem is that you've never been taught how your internal system actually works? And that's what I want to talk to you about today. Let's imagine something. Think about your phone. When your battery is at 100%, everything feels smooth. Apps open instantly. The screen is bright. The phone responds quickly. But when the battery drops to 5%, suddenly everything changes. The phone slows down. Features begin to shut off. The brightness, it'll dim. Power saving mode takes over. It's still the same phone. Nothing about its identity changed. Its capacity changed. Now, most men live exactly like that. They mistake low capacity for personal failure. So instead of asking, what's draining me, they ask, what's wrong with me? And those, my friend, are two different questions. One of the biggest lies men believe is this: if I could just stay motivated, everything would finally change. But motivation has never been designed to carry your life. Motivation is emotional weather. Identity is climate, and weather changes every day. Climate, it stays consistent. So if you're trying to build your life on motivation, you'll always feel like you're starting over. Now, I used to think consistency meant feeling the same every day. It doesn't. Consistency means living from the same identity. Even, my friend, when your emotions aren't cooperating. That's leadership, not perfection, leadership. So let's talk about why you disappear. Because that's what's really happening. The man you want to be doesn't completely vanish. He just gets buried. Pressure shows up. Stress increases. Work gets busy. Kids are demanding. Marriage gets tense. Money gets tight. Sleep disappears. Your nervous system shifts into survival. And suddenly, the man who was looking for connection just starts protecting himself instead. He becomes quieter, more reactive, more defensive. And not because that's who he is, because that's what his system believes it needs to do. This is why so many men tell me, I don't know why I keep becoming someone I don't even like. Here's why. You've built two versions of yourself: the conscious version and the automatic version. Now, the conscious version shows up when life feels manageable. The automatic version shows up when pressure arrives. Guess which one wins? The one you've trained the most. Pressure never creates character. Pressure reveals programming. Think about that. Every reaction you have, every shutdown, every angry response, withdrawal, emotional wall, it's not random. It's learned. It's practice. It becomes familiar. Your brain doesn't ask, what's healthiest? It asks, what's the safest? If shutting down protected you years ago, it will keep suggesting that solution today, even when it's destroying your marriage. That's why awareness alone, it doesn't change anything. Now, most men already know their problems. They know they get angry. They know they avoid conversations. We know we procrastinate. We know we have emotional times in that we disappear. Knowing isn't transformation. Now, if information changed people, everyone who listens to podcasts would have an extraordinary life. Every librarian would be the richest people in the world. Transformation happens when the system underneath your behavior changes. Now, I talk a lot about what I call your life's operating system, because every man has one, whether you realize it or not. And it goes like this. First, everything begins with your thoughts. Then your thoughts create the meaning, which creates the emotion, and that emotion influences your actions. And repeated actions become your identity. This is it. Your life's operating system. Thought, emotion, action. It's a loop. And most men spend years trying to change action without ever touching the system that created the action. It's like trimming the weeds without removing the roots. You'll be back next week. Now, here's another mistake that most men make. They believe they lose progress. I don't think they do. I think they lose access. There's a difference. You don't become a different man overnight. You lose access to the man you've been becoming. Because stress, it narrows your awareness. When you're overwhelmed, your world becomes smaller. You stop asking good questions. You stop reflecting. You stop noticing. You start reacting. And the wise man, he's still inside you. You just can't hear him over the noise. So what do you do? First, stop measuring your life by the worst days. One bad day doesn't erase a month of growth. One argument doesn't define your marriage. One setback, it doesn't destroy your identity. Growth, it isn't linear. Never has been and it never will be. Second, become curious before becoming critical. Instead of saying, I failed again, ask yourself, what happened inside me before I reacted? What story was I believing? What emotion was leading me? What need was I trying to protect? Curiosity just creates awareness. Judgment creates shame. And shame rarely produces change. Now, third is you want to reconnect daily. This is where many men go wrong. They wait until they're struggling before reconnecting. And that's like waiting until your truck runs out of gas before thinking about fuel. Connection isn't emergency maintenance. It's daily maintenance. 5 quiet minutes. Prayer, scripture, journaling, walking, breathing, reflection, whatever reconnects you to who you actually are. My friend, do that before the world tells you who it wants you to be. And fourth, expect pressure. Don't be surprised by it. Pressure isn't evidence that you're failing. Pressure is part of being a husband, a father, a provider, a leader. The goal, my friend, isn't removing pressure. The goal is becoming the kind of man who remains connected inside of pressure. And that's completely different. Here's something I want you to think about. Imagine your family. Imagine your wife, your kids. They don't need a perfect man. They don't need someone who's always positive, always motivated, always confident. They need someone who comes back. Someone who notices when he's drifting. Someone humble enough to apologize. Someone courageous enough to reconnect. Someone willing to lead again tomorrow. That's what builds trust. Not perfection. Consistency in returning. Maybe today you're listening to this and you've realizing you've disappeared again. You've been distant, checked out, living on autopilot. Now, if that's true, my friend, don't waste another week beating yourself up, because guilt doesn't reconnect you. Action does. One honest conversation, one apology, one walk, one journal entry, one prayer, one intentional dinner, one decision. That's how men come back. Not with giant transformations, with small acts of reconnection repeated consistently. I'll leave you with this. You are not two different men. You're one man, living from two different systems. One system leads towards connection. The other was built for survival. Every day, every conversation, every decision, you're strengthening one of them. So here's my question. Tomorrow morning, which man are you going to practice becoming? Because the man you repeatedly practice will eventually become the man your family experiences every day. And that, my friend, changes everything. Remember, trust yourself. You got this.